Hi viewers. So today is the day 2 of 30 days live that I'm doing to share some of my knowledge and tips that I have as a student, as a teacher of 15 to 20 years of private tutoring. So here we go. Here we go. Today we're going to talk about how we can remember long answers in an exam. For that, I would say one of the books that you can buy and use for your children for throughout life also, right? So that is this book called the Memory Book. The classic guide, and whatever I have learned the memory techniques after I became a instructor. It is from this. It is by Harry, Lorraine, and Jerry Lucas. In this memory book, they teach many techniques to remember words and remember numbers and many things. Many things. We remember faces and names of people and everything. But in our context, we just have to know how to remember long answers. And I'm going to talk about one technique. See, it's like any technique, if you can remember, if you can learn and master it, after you learn, it becomes very easy. Right? So till you learn that technique is what is difficult. After you learn, after you practice it, that becomes very easy. And it's a very fun thing to do. Right? Parents and children together can do it as a very fun thing. Okay, it's a very, very funny way of doing. Let's go to the technique itself. That's called as ridiculous association technique. As I told you, it's going to be fun. Yes, it is fun. And that's why it's called ridiculous. Ridiculous means just very, very funny. And association means you connect. Our brain can remember for anything that it already knows that it is connected to. That is the logic behind this entire thing. Our brain can remember if we know something and we connect something else to it, our brain can remember well than storing a new information to it. If we can connect to what we already know, that is when it remembers. That's why association is very important. Okay. In further, if it's possible, I will teach you other techniques also of memory techniques. But today I'm focusing on one technique called ridiculous association technique. Ridiculous means very, very funny. And the concept or the logic behind this is you just think and see. Okay, you just think and see. What do you remember from yesterday or today or whatever, right? Or about a person? Sure thing is something very weird thing. If it's a weird, you will remember. If it's very, very funny, if it's ridiculous, you will remember. So taking these two concepts that our brain remembers when it is very funny and when it is associated with what it already knows. Okay. Taking these two concepts, we are going to talk about this technique. Now, what is this technique? This technique is like you have a series of words, let's say. Okay, series of words is there, and you have to remember those words in a particular sequence. Now, let's say snow is there, snow, swan, earrings, bucket, okay, bucket, and then frog. All are totally different, right? All are totally different. I gave all random words that came to my mind. How do we remember this? Now, a series of words are there. We have to start with the person who's telling. It's like I'm seeing a white screen, right? So I'm seeing a white screen in front of me, my own screen or whatever, white screen I'm seeing. So seeing that, I'm connecting it to snow. Okay, snow. This entire my white screen starts becoming a snow. Means what? You have to exaggerate. It should not at all be the usual thing. It should be something unusual. You have to use your imagination and you can convert it into very, very funny, very, very imaginative. It should not be possible. Okay. Can the white screen from my laptop can it turn into cloud? No, but I will say I will turn it into cloud. Okay, so it's very ridiculous. All the white thing is moving away in cloud. Now, next, the cloud. All the clouds are melting and falling down like swans. Okay, all the clouds are melting and falling down like swans. Can a cloud melt down like ice cream and then become a swan? No, it cannot. But that is what you have to do. You have to visualize that the cloud is melting down and becoming swan. Now, the swan, it is supposed to have that two wings, right? Instead of wings, it has earrings. Which swan will have earrings? It will not have earrings. But the wings of the swan is like it's not having wings, it has earrings. And many such the feathers, right? Feather is having the wings, right? Feathers. Every feather is a earring. A lot of rings, earrings are there, like the droplings, right? Droplets, like kind of. Then all these things, the swan is walking, and all these earrings from its wings, right? It's all falling down. It's all falling down. Where it is falling down? Into a huge bucket. It falls into a huge bucket. Now, this huge bucket, is poured, right? The huge bucket is poured again, poured. When you pour all the things, all the earrings are there in the bucket. When you pour, what is coming out? Many millions of frogs are coming out. Okay. Now let me tell the story back. Now you're saying, what is this? Your ma'am told long answers for exam and she's telling some story which is all doesn't make sense. But that is the fact. This is the technique. Okay. Now, when I told the entire story, now any one of you also in the chat box, if you want, you can put the words that I've told now. What are the words, right? In sequence, if you can, if you want, right? You can put. Okay. You can put the words. What are the words I told? I gave you a story. Using that story, now you can come up with those words. Let me only tell, okay? White screen I see, clouds. From clouds, swan. Swan, earrings. Earrings to bucket. Bucket, I'm pouring, frogs are coming. Correct? So, entire thing. Now, if you want me to tell in reverse, I can tell. Like how frogs, right? Frog. Frog came from bucket. Right? Frog came from earring. Earrings is there in bucket. Bucket came from where? Sorry. Yeah, frog came from bucket. Bucket had earrings. Earrings came from the swan. Swan came from the clouds. Clouds came from my white screen, and the white screen is in front of me. So you can tell the reverse order also. So what was the thing that made this story very, very memorable is two things. It should be very exaggerating. If you see, I was telling big cloud falling down. Swans, many earrings are coming out. Millions of frog is coming out. A huge bucket is there, like that, right? You have to exaggerate it. Means if something is very big, actually, you make it very small. When it's small, make it big. When it's less, make it many. When it's many, make it less. Basically, the opposite exaggeration you have to do. Exaggeration means we say, no, too much you're acting like that. Now we say, right? So that kind of exaggeration we have to do for everything. Exaggeration means just blow it up, blow up the idea, right? Blow up the idea. So it becomes exaggeration. So one thing is it should be ridiculous and it should be exaggeration, and then remember that it was a connection. That means from in the swan's wings, you have the earrings. Earrings is falling to the bucket. And the bucket is poured. Whatever is in the bucket is poured. That is when the frog is coming. So whatever is the previous word, you connect only the previous word, not the previous or previous other words you should not connect. The previous word should get connected to the next word. So these are the three things you have to keep in mind. One is it will be very funny. The second thing is you have to exaggerate it. And the third thing is you have to connect it. Now, all of this will not work if you don't visualize the story. Now, there's another concept behind why this we have to visualize the story. Do you remember a person who has told some story to you that you will remember very much? Then they would have taught you some gyan they have taught you that you might not remember, but there's some real life incident story, their story or somebody else's story, or actually some normal moral story, whatever, you will remember story. Now if you say that children remember songs, movie stories and all, why? Because it's a story. So whatever you're studying, you have to convert it into a story, because our brain remembers stories. And the second thing is our brain remembers what it visualizes, sees in its eyes. Now you might say, I'm seeing my textbook, I'm reading. No, your mind really thinks in images. Just check out the thing. Now I say, your house door. You remembered, right? Your kitchen sink. You remember the image of the kitchen sink, right? Or if I say apple, you remember the apple, not APPLE. You will remember the apple as such. That's what you will remember. So our mind thinks in images. Our mind does not think in sound. Our mind does not think in words. No. Our mind thinks in images. Therefore, use the images, make it a movie kind of a story kind of a thing. Use the ridiculousness, use the exaggeration, and use the association. Remember these three things. Use the ridiculousness. It will be very, very funny. Then use the exaggeration. Instead of one bucket, you can think of 1,000 buckets also. Instead of just small bucket, you think of huge bucket like a size of a ship, right? Exaggeration. The third one is association. Connect one word to the next word, because our brain remembers what it knows. With that, if you connect, it will remember. Okay. Now, because I've explained this much about the technique itself, right? Let's see if you can, let's connect it to some question. Okay. Connect it to some question. Let's say, okay. I just took out one question from NCERT syllabus for 6th standard, right? The question says, describe the people of Sahara Desert. Also write about their activities. Okay, write about their activities. Now let me see if I can annotate. Okay. So now what we have to do when such a question is there, first you read the question and mark some important words. Okay. So you have to always connect with the question. As I told you, connect with what you know. In the exam, you're going to get this question, right? So you connect with the Sahara Desert and the people. So the first line says, Sahara Desert experiences a harsh climate. So it's the climate. As soon as you remember Sahara Desert, what is the thing you'll remember? Obviously, it is very hot, right? So hot climate you'll remember. Okay, that you will remember. Next is the people. People means here, the people is there. So despite that, various groups of people such as Bedouins and Tuaregs actually this is supposed to be Tuaregs, live here. Now, this Bedouins, Tuaregs is important word. Next, these are nomadic tribes who pursue different activities. They rear animals. So animals such as goats, sheep, camels, and horses. Okay, what all types of animals will write? Then this is actually milk. Okay, milk. They get milk and hide from these animals. So from animals, goat is connected to milk. Okay, then hide, horse is connected to hide. Okay, now from hide, what all comes? Leather. From leather, you get what you get? Belt or slipper or water bottle, one of these. Then they use the hair of these animals to make mats or carpets and clothes and blankets. Now, people of Sahara there wear heavy robes. Heavy robes means clothes is connected to robes only and protect themselves from the dust storms. These are the words. Next word is okay. The oasis in the Sahara Desert and the Nile Valley in Egypt support the settled. So, say let's say valley. And since water is available, people grow date palms. Okay, date palms they grow, let's say, rice and wheat and barley and beans. Well, let's mark those words. Then Sahara is undergoing climate change with fast speed, right? Let's say fast. Okay. And Tuareg, the nomadic tribes, are now acting as guides, right? They're becoming tourists, basically. Tourists they're becoming. Guides to tourists they're becoming. More and more nomadic herdsmen are migrating to cities, right? They are migrating to cities and jobs. Now all this is there. First you mark the words. This seems like very, so many words to remember, so many points to remember. But if you follow this technique and actually apply it and practice this technique with your parents, right? Practice this. How do you practice this technique with the parents? That I'll tell you the end. But however, let's talk about this one question here first. So you have all these things. Now, as soon as the question came Sahara Desert. Oh, the Sahara Desert. As soon as I remember desert, I can remember hot. So I'll write about climate. That one sentence came off. The next thing is people. Okay, people. People only, you see. What kind of people? People are so many people. So many people. What they're doing? They are sleeping in bed. And they are, so many people sleeping in beds on the Sahara Desert only. And they are putting on rugs. It's a tuareg, no? Tuareg. There's one more technique called you can manipulate the words and remember, right? Instead of Bedouins, you just remember bed and tuareg, rug. Okay. So bed, lot of people in Sahara Desert, they're sleeping on bed and putting rugs on themselves. Now, they're sleeping on the rugs. They're putting the rug and sleeping. All so many animals are coming and pulling the rugs. They're putting an animal. What kind of animals? Now you can remember. Animal word came up. No, you can remember what all kinds of animals. In the desert, you will see camel. You see a goat, horse, right? So even if you remember this much, 3 animals, then fine. Now, what does a goat do? What does a goat do? It pulls. Why is it pulling? From the goat, from all the goats, which is pulling all the people's rugs, from its mouth, okay, from its mouth, milk is flowing. By pulling, no, it's pulling with the mouth, right? So milk is flowing from the mouth, right? And these horses and all, what is happening? All the skins are falling out. All the skins are falling out. And the people are getting, oh, what is this? What is happening? Then all the skin that is falling out is becoming bottles. Basic next word is our water bottle, right? So it's becoming water bottles. Water bottles. Now, though it's supposed to become a leather water bottle, now it's just a bottle, right? Now next, the bottle breaks, right? The bottle breaks into pieces, right? It just scatters. All the pieces get scattered. All those pieces, when they scatter, they go and make they fly like carpets, like flying carpets are there, right? Just fly in the carpets, like fly the carpets flying. Now all those carpets they fly, they go and hit the clouds, and the whiteness of the clouds come to the carpets, and then the cloud, it all becomes clothes, white clothes it becomes. And all those clothes, just like rain falls down, clothes fall down on people. Now all the people have gotten up from their bed, no? So on them, these clothes will fall. Okay, good. Now all the people are wearing this white clothes. Now They got up from the bed, no. So all the sand from there forming a storm. Sandstorm happens. Starts to now all this storm, everything is, it travels, and the mountains stop it. Mountains stop it. Basically, then when the mountains stop those storms, what happens? The storm flow down the valley like a water. Flow down the valley like a water. Now water is all going, and all the water is uh, every what to say, the drop, every drop of water is becoming like beans, right? Inside the beans, you have the beans. So beans is there. Now, so the beans, now the beans, how it is coming? The water is coming, the beans are coming out of it. Fastly it is coming. Fastly it is coming. After it's coming fastly, the beans is coming fastly and traveling, going on a tour. Going on a tour. Where they're going on a tour? They go on a tour, not for somewhere else. They go to cities. Right? They go to cities. Now, what happened? What happened? I remember the entire, right. I remember this entire word. Okay. Now, let me write all the words if you want, right? So, the question had something called Sahara and people. Sahara means as soon as Sahara I will know it is people. So, Sahara means it is like climate. Then people means people, what they're doing? Bed, rug, Bedouins and Tuaregs, right? Bedouins and Tuaregs. All of them are sleeping. No. What is happening next? They do all kinds of activities. They rear animals. So animals are coming. Animals are coming and pulling the rugs. See, I'm telling the full answer also without seeing. First time I saw that answer. Animals they rear animals like goats, sheep, camels, and goat, sheep, and camel, at least this much. Okay. Now, goat, sheep will give milk. So milk is coming out of the mouth of the goat. And all the horses, the skin is falling out. Skin is falling out. It's becoming leather. And from the leather, you can start writing. From the leather, they're making all kinds of things like belts, then belts and water bottles. So they're making water bottles. Now, what happens to this water bottle? Water bottle scatters and becomes this one, no? What is it? Next is scatters becomes carpet. So what is the sentence for that? Carpet sentence is, carpet is coming from where? The animal's hair. So the animals' hairs, these animals' hairs are also used to make carpets and mats, correct? Carpets and mats. Now, all these carpets and mats, they go and hit the cloud. So it becomes white in color. The clothes come, right? Clothes. So the animals' hairs are used to make carpets, mats, carpets, clothes, right? The clothes, what happens? If they fall down on people, right? So we can, next sentence we can write, people wear heavy robes in this clothes, right? Now, when they wear the heavy robe, what happens? The snowstorm comes to protect themselves from snowstorms, the dust storms, or not. So sorry, so not snowstorms, dust storms, right? Or sandstorms, right? You can write that sandstorms come. Now, what happens is sandstorms. Sandstorms they travel, they keep traveling, and so what happens? The mountains stop it, right? So then we talk about that valley in Egypt, right? Egypt, that valley is there, and in the valley, because there's a lot of water. Now, as we say valley, then the dust storms flow like water, right? The next thing is we will talk about there's a lot of water in the valley. So people start settling down and they start cultivating. And why? Because after water, every water droplet becomes beans. No, we remember that. So we can talk about more about it. because there's a lot of water, people settle down and start cultivating rice, barley, beans, and everything. Now, what happens? Beans also, about the beans also we wrote. Then what happens? Beans, next word is fast, because beans were, coming out fast, fast, fast. We can say, what is a fast sentence about? It's what is this? The climate is changing very fastly. Now, all these beans fastly, where it is going? Tourism it goes. So we can say next, so because the climate is changing very fast, people are becoming tourist guides to foreigners and all. And then where are they going on tourists? They go into cities. And we can say next sentence, the tourists, they're going, they're becoming guides for tourists. And many of the people are moving out to cities in search of jobs. This is the city of jobs. Finish. Once you read like this, you don't have to memorize every word, and it becomes a story. You might say, so much words, so much story. See, whatever I'm talking is like too many words I'm talking. But when you are actually visualizing it as a story in your head, that sequence is very fast, very easy, very, very seamlessly it will come. Very seamlessly. But important thing is you have to visualize the entire story. Now, if you ask me again, also I can tell the entire list, forward way also, backward way also. Why? Because whenever I was telling the story to you, I was also visualizing. Right? Sahara, people, Bedouin, Terug, right? Rug, animals, milk, hide, then the leather, right? The hide becomes water bottles, belt, other things, and water bottles. Then the bottles are shattered, right? So it becomes mats, carpets. Then it goes in clothes. The people wear heavy robes because the dust storm is there. Then dust storm. Then we talk about the valley. The valley, the water comes. The water drops. So water comes. Then the beans come. Beans. Then the fast changing climate of the Sahara. Then what happens? It's traveling. It's becoming tourist guides. Then tourist guides, and they also traveling to cities. Well, the traveling, right? Tour means traveling. So city. So also many people are going to cities in search of jobs. So the entire thing about people of Sahara was, I was able to tell you. I just read once. I read there. Once I wrote it down like that to show you, and then third time I'm telling the entire thing. So if you know how to develop a sentence in English, and if you know this technique, you don't have to study the same question more than twice. 2 times only you have to read it. Once to mark the thing. The second time is to visualize and connect all the words. Then the next thing, you just have to ask somebody to ask that question to you, and you just keep on telling those important words. And when those important words come, you can just develop that as an answer, right? Because I'm keeping my YouTube live just for half an hour, I'm able to cover only one technique. To learn this technique, maybe it took half an hour, but to use this technique, it's going to take very, very less time. If any of you have any questions to me, right? Right? Okay. Okay, there's some junk is coming. Okay, fine. Very nice. Cloud, swan, earring, bucket, frog, and all those things. Okay. 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 So thank you for responding. Yes, you were able to tell it rightly. So how you can use it? So if you have any questions, give me a question. If you do not have any question, it's okay. 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 So how you can use it with your children is make it a game to make them understand or learn this memory technique. Make it a game. Make it a game means start writing a list of words. You keep, first of all, they have to know this technique. Start writing a word, next word, whatever comes to your mind from your surroundings, start writing. And the child, whenever you're writing, your child, is trying to visualize and connect and make a story. After you write 10 or 15 words, ask the child to tell. The child will tell. Then tell the child to tell the reverse order. Right? Now, you can use these techniques with you make your children use this technique with other children in parties or somewhere they meet, as if they know something, special, some great power that they have got. Okay, when they show off like that and actually use that technique, say, no, nowadays children say, no, no, I know this, I know that, like that. So make them use that kind of a situation there and let them do it. Then they become more confident about remembering the words. When they become more confident about remembering the words, they were ready to study. And because it's a fun thing to do in the head, no, it is so entertaining to do it. And because it's entertaining, they are ready to study. And because it's going to take less time, right? um they will be like very happy. They'll be very happy to study also, because it's going to reduce their time of study in this way, technique, right? So this we can use. And meet you all tomorrow at the same time. Tomorrow's live. There might be changes of in the live timings on Saturday, but tomorrow same 7:30. Let's meet with yet another topic. What is the topic I've decided for tomorrow? Is how do you solve any word problem in mathematics? How to solve any word problem? How do you solve it in mathematics? How do you solve any word problem? How you can treat mathematics as a language rather than something abstract with words and something abstract with numbers and ideas. How you can use it as a language, how you can use it as a story, and thereby make your learning experience with mathematics also very enjoyable and very quick and very fast. Okay, see you all tomorrow. Let's wind up the live sessions. Happy to meet you all today here. Thank you. Bye bye. Who was not able to join the live, they can always